Hey, it's Wednesday, time for another Action Figure Adventures video here on SEO Tour Review. Today, Baby Skeletor and I are taking a look at two Dollar General G.I. Joe figures. These guys have been out of retail for quite a while. They've been sitting on a shelf here, and I finally am getting around to reviewing them. Duke and Cobra Commander are both part of the second wave of Dollar General G.I. Joe figures. These guys were a wave of repaints of the figures that were first released there. Interestingly enough, the cross-sell art on the back of the package shows off these characters in their first paint schemes. Here we have Duke version 44 and Cobra Commander 52. Both of these guys were released in 2013 at discount stores and other online retailers. They are reuse of parts and repaints, and both are decent figures, but definitely have some lacking paint apps or other accessories or details. We're going to start by taking a look at Duke. Here's Duke. His military role is First Sergeant. He's often used as a leader in the battlefield. Most people think of Duke as the leader of G.I. Joe because he sort of served that role on the classic cartoon show for the first season. In the classic comic book, Duke's role was never as big as it was in the cartoon show. Because of his popularity and screen time on the cartoon show, he's sort of become the face of the G.I. Joe brand. This figure looks like a standard green shirt, one of the original 13 G.I. Joes. He almost looks like Hawk if he had the visor. If he came with a mortar, you would think he was Short Fuse. I definitely think of Short Fuse when I look at this figure. He could also just be Grunt since he has the M16 and a helmet and everything. But, you know, they're telling us this is Duke. He's got a removable helmet, which reveals blonde hair underneath. I think this was actually a dusty head at one point. It works fine for Duke, but it doesn't necessarily scream Duke to me. The helmet has some nice texturing on it and everything, and it fits snugly on his helmet. He's got an M16 for his main weapon, which works well for almost any G.I. Joe, Duke included. He's got some web gear here, which, like I said, reminds me of Short Fuse and Zap from those original green shirt Joes. He's got a standard, pretty plain-looking outfit. There are some pockets on his shoulders. He's got a little pouch down here of some sort of thing, a device maybe that looks like it's missing all its paint apps. He's got a holster with a little pistol, as well as a pistol down here. A holster down here, but the pistol can fit in either spot, but he only comes with one pistol. He's also got a canteen on the back of his belt there, which looks great. I kind of like keeping this pistol up here. Seems like it's easier reach for Duke when he needs it. Like I said, this is a very fun military figure. He works great almost as any of the generic Joes, but definitely does not scream Duke to me at all. Maybe if they had given him green pants and a tan shirt, it would scream Duke to me a little bit more. Or if they put him in like the red and brown camo of his 190s release, or either one of his 90s releases, then maybe it would feel more like Duke to me. But it's a good figure, and I do kind of like him. His base does not have his name on it. Again, another little cost savings measure with these discount figures. As far as articulation goes, Duke is a standard 25th anniversary style figure. He's got a ball joint at the head. He's got great shoulder movement there. A bend and rotation at the elbow. Swivels at the wrist. He's got a upper chest rotation point. It's not really a crunch or anything like that. He's got good range of motion at the hips. Double jointed knees. And he's got some ankle articulation there. Here we've got Cobra Commander, and he is instantly recognizable as the hooded Cobra Commander. The figure looks nice, although the paint apps that are missing on this figure are much more obvious than the Duke figure. So Cobra Commander has a Cobra logo on his forehead there, and his eyes are painted inside the hood there. But as you move down the figure, you notice that all of his details are unpainted. There's a lot of buttons and ribbing and badges and things like that on his chest that are just left plain, which is kind of a shame. He's even got a little device here, a little holster for ammunition or something, and the straps on that are unpainted. But it's a very regal-looking hooded Cobra Commander outfit with the shoulder pads here and the sash that goes down to a holster for a gun and a sheath for his snake sword. I do like this figure a lot. Of course, you know, the paint apps do hurt a little bit. He comes with a Cobra base, no name on it, which is unusual for this era of figures. But again, we're cutting some costs here on these figures. His sword is removable. It's made out of all gold plastic, and I do really like that it has the King Cobra snake head on it there. And then in his holster on this side of his belt, there is a removable pistol. There's Cobra Commander posed with both of his accessories. He's a pretty cool figure, even though he is missing some of those paint apps. It's interesting that they chose to put these little gold paint apps on his cuffs, when I think his chest is more obviously unpainted. Maybe they couldn't figure out how to paint some of the chest and not all of it. Not sure there. But articulation on this figure, ball joint at the head, he's got a rotation at the chest there. It is somewhat hindered by having the straps and stuff on him. He's got good shoulder articulation and his shoulder pads don't get in the way. He's got bends and swivels at the elbows. He has wrist articulation. It's a little bit odd. His sleeves are a little long, stick out past his wrists, and it just feels a little bit awkward trying to pose his hands, but they do have articulation there. He's got good hip joints. He's got double jointed knees, as well as the articulation at the ankle. So he's pretty much the same as Duke. I don't know if you really need to go out and hunt down Duke 44 and Cobra Commander 52. They're fun footnotes in the history of G.I. Joe. I did enjoy every time they've released figures at Dollar General. There were some during the, like Venom vs. Valor era with the new sculpt figures, and even some repaints of the old O-Ring guys. They've done some of these more modern 25th style guys over the years. I would love to see that happen again, because I just feel like I like G.I. Joe at retail. But it blows my mind to think that there's 52 other versions of Cobra Commander, and there's more. This is not the most recent Cobra Commander. 44 versions of Duke and counting. It's crazy to think about that. But so awesome that you could even find these guys out there in the wild at some point. Somebody online just posted that they found a Cobra Trooper in one of the Facebook groups I was on at a Dollar General, just kind of like stashed in the back. So you never know. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do Baby Skeletor a favor, hit the like and subscribe button.